I think
That's
there are
what I need.
two possibilities that are likely, but overall there are three. Okay, so first, the VA can, I'm saying VA as a whole, it's really the VA secretary, the advisory board and the VA secretary in conjunction with each other. They can kick the can down the road. I think that's pretty likely. That can be anywhere from October of this year, which gets to outcome number two, and I'll cross that bridge. Or they can kick it down to mid-year, mid FY26, which is like March-ish timeframe. Or they can just kick it back and just say TBD. We don't know yet. Our plate is full. The VA secretary's plate is very full. At the same time, a part of this administration's priorities line item is to streamline VA SRD changes. So
Yep.
we have both ends of the spectrum are at play, but kicking the can down the road can happen. That's outcome. That's a outcome. I wouldn't say it's outcome number one because I wouldn't rank it as number one. What I think is going to happen, which is outcome number two, because they've already been brewing. Public comments ended a while ago. Okay. I think public comments ended before I even started doing YouTube. Right. So we've been here for a while. These are changes to existing criteria. So the VA is not adding any diagnostic codes like they did for GERD IBS. So it's more, I'm going to say, a faster process to just basically copy paste. 38 CFR says A this day. Next day it says B. That's fairly easy. The notice requirements, which, by the way, the VA dictates what those are anyways, are not the same for new criteria, okay? Because this is just changing an existing criteria. So to give you an example, August 21st, the VA can say, bam, effective right now, here's the criteria. I don't think that'll happen. I personally think on October 1st, which is a new fiscal year, that we will see these changes go into play. I don't know that for sure. I actually do have a Magic 8 ball. I just bought one for my daughter. Okay. It's upstairs. I wish I had it right now and
It's time to acquire that. Yeah.
It would say, ask me later, probably, because that's the answer. But the reason I think it's going to be October 1st is because there's a lot of budget. The budget is everyone's, not just the VA. The budget is everyone's top concern right now. The big beautiful bill, that's a whole other thing. But there's budget concerns for each VA SRD change, and it just makes sense to me to incorporate as like a budgeting planning person to start on October 1st. We have our projections. You can add that with the new FY budget. We'll have to see what that looks like. I think it's going to be October 1st, personally. And then outcome number three is it is effective immediately, which would be weird. I wouldn't say out of character for the VA, but it would be weird because with VA SRD changes, you would also require your VA raters and your claims processors and CMP examiners. Like, you have to create DBQs, whatever the whole nine. You would want training for those. And so if the VA did it effective immediately, they would skip training, which, to be honest with you, wouldn't be too far out of the norm. But look, going back to October 1st, that offers a little window for training. But again, it's the same symptoms. It's just being rated differently. Not to mention the system the VA rater uses is automated anyways. And so, long story short, the computer, I'm saying this at a low level right now, the computer tells the VA rater if you're 50%, right? The VA rater then can agree, go one lower or go one higher with justification. So as far as training goes, there's not too much. So I think October 1st makes more sense. If I was to rank them in order, I would say October 1st would be my number one. Kicking the can down the road would be my number two. Those are if I had two number ones, it would be those two. Or effective immediately, which I think would be bad for everyone, like VA workers. and veterans as well.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the outcomes?
I have a fourth option.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
After the midterms, 2026.
That makes sense.
So I think from a political standpoint, right, forget about VA trying to get their stuff squared away, and these things are out there pending. Just from a political standpoint, if you have the House, the Senate, and the presidency, you don't want to rock the boat on things that you can control.
Yeah.
This is a controllable thing. So maybe look, if I were the president and I knew that there was something kind of that could be looked at negatively, regardless of if there's merit behind it, right? These are things that are going to happen regardless of what president's in play. I mean, it's just going to happen. But perception is reality for the voting public, right? So, but if I were the president, I would say, hey, secretary, you know those things, those changes you want to make that I've seen some people or heard some people griping about? Yeah, hold off on that. And let's do that in January of 2027, right? Just to, you want to hedge your bets, I think, as much as you can from a political standpoint. And it doesn't matter what party's in play. If you had all three, either party, any party, could be the Green Party, you're going to want to do whatever you can do to preserve that. Now, so that's my fourth kind of option, which I think might be viable. I mean, look, the political landscape is a landscape of strategy. But I would think, at this point, effective immediately. And when you say effective immediately, you don't mean today, July of 2025. What you're saying is after they meet, the meeting, maybe a week later, effective sometime in August. Is what you're saying as far as effective immediately. I would love to say I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's also probable. And again, because they have all the time in the world to change the dates. If they were planning on changing the dates, they would do it now. With this committee, it's on everybody's calendar. Right? Mm-hmm. Leadership knows what's happening. Leadership knows that these things are coming. The train is coming. The stop is August. Do we want to extend the stop? No, leave it August. We're going to have our committee meeting in August and we'll wrap it up. Okay, cool. Let's do that. Or is the conversation, hey, the train's coming. The stop is August. We have the committee meeting now scheduled up. Do you want to keep it in August? You know what? No, let's kick it down the road to the next fiscal year. Let's kick it down the road to 2026 or 2027. If we don't see a change soon, I mean, look, we're sitting in July now. If we don't see a change in the system soon, the system, Federal Register, all that stuff where it shows the dates, the system thinks it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So everybody else thinks it's going to happen. Everybody is anticipating it's going to happen then. They will go in and kick it down the road further, adjust the date, push it to the right, months and months in advance. So I can't remember how many months in advance they did it last time, but they did. When they kicked it down the road, we weren't going, hey, we're only 2 months away. It was what, 5 months or something? And all of a sudden they changed the date, 6 months, half a year early, they changed the dates. So I don't know. My gut says don't be surprised if it continues to happen in August, unless we see a change on the dates here in the next week or so. Don't be surprised if it happens in August. And I'm just throwing that out there to folks because, again, look, you'd much rather file for it now than have a change happen and you're out of the game. And then I think if they do kick it down the road, I think it's going to be more of a strategic play. And I think that and what I mean is politically, strategizing it. One last thing, and I'm going to kick it back to you. You brought up the fact that this is actually on the president's to-do list, which is true. The streamlining, and when we say streamlining, we mean speeding up the time it takes for the VA to make a change to the rating schedules. So if you have the president saying, hey, look, you got to get on that and make that stuff happen, and you're the VA secretary and you already know it needs to happen, are you going to be like, yeah, sorry, we still suck? Or are you going to be like, oh yeah, we're Johnny on the spot, it's done? I mean, there is some of that in play too. I mean, it is actually on the president's mind that they need to speed up that process. That's not normally something I think that we see from the executive office, getting into the VA's business in that way.